Good morning, everybody. I'm Tony Berrient, and with the Hearing Loss Association of America, Mission Viejo chapter. And today is January the 11th, um, 2022. Happy New Year to everybody. Um, and today our program is going to be on California phones. And not only the products but the services they offer. Um, but as per usual, we're going to do a little instructive phase. My volume is very low. Hello. Okay.
I hear you fine.
Okay. Good. Well, I did turn up um, my microphone a little bit. Okay. Okay, Alan, I'll watch the door, and if you could take over for the instruction, I appreciate it.
Sure. Before starting our presentation, I would like to review some of the directions for using Zoom on a desktop or laptop computer. If you use a tablet or a smartphone, this information may not apply to your device. For most of you, the captions will change slide, Tony. For most of you, the captions are what is most important. Zoom calls captioning live transcript. If you are not receiving captions during the meeting, there is a menu bar at the lower edge of your Zoom window. You will see a caret to the right of the CC icon. Selecting it will give you three options: show subtitles, view a full transcript, and access the subtitle settings. Selecting show subtitles allows the display of the captions. You can drag the caption window around the screen to a suitable location with your mouse. Next slide, please.
Oh, did you cover all of those? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
here we are.
If you have questions about using Zoom in this meeting, use the chat feature for support. We will cover how to use the chat in the next slide. If you're using the chat feature, I suggest not having your display on full screen. You can check this by accessing the view icon in the upper right-hand corner. Speaker usually is the best view for the majority of occasions. Selecting the chat icon opens the chat window. You can dock it to the right side of your Zoom screen or have it float, and you can drag it to any position that you want. You can use chat to communicate with participants as a group or individually. Next slide, please. We ask you to use the raise hand feature if you have a question or comment. You will find it in the menu bar under Reactions. This allows the host to address questions and comments in an orderly fashion. I will now return you to your program.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. So this is the HLAA disclaimer that the chapter, Mission Viejo chapter, does not endorse any single product or service. That this meeting is intended to provide information, education, and support. Okay. Our sponsor, we have a captioner, Joe Gale, she's from Illinois. She's in Illinois right now, and she is captioning in real time for us. Our sponsor that supports the captioning is Caption Call. and I have to do a little commercial for them. They provide landline phones. They provide service on iPhones and provide a service on your iPad. And they actually can provide captioning just about everywhere you go. The telephone, the landline phone, is available at no charge. The service is at no charge. It's part of a federal program, and in many cases, they could actually provide you with a landline. So, in addition to the phone, but to get information that you might need, you need to call 1-877-557-2227. Okay. And HLAA is a 501c3 tax exempt chapter, and tax deductions may be available for donations you might make, depending on your tax status. And we are all volunteer. Judy is here today. She is our secretary, and Jeff Chess is here today, and he's our treasurer. And they don't receive any compensation of any kind. It's strictly volunteer. So our website is hlaamv.org, and you can make donations with your credit card on our website. And please visit your website for a variety of information. Okay, let's see. I'm the president, and there's my email address, tony@hlaamv.org. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can follow us on Facebook. We're there too. And I think that's it. Okay. So I would like to introduce you to Robert. Robert has been a presenter before, and he's a friend of the chapter, and we appreciate you being here, Robert. I'm just, for those latecomers, Robert is recovering from COVID, and so he's on his 12th day of recovery. And so thank you for being here, and we'll drink water with you.
Thank you.
I wish you a good recovery. So I think I will turn it over to you, Robert, and I think you're going to probably want to share a screen. So
Correct.
let me make sure you are a co-host. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. And if I do get a little dry throat, just excuse me. I will be hopefully taking enough water. And just wishing you all a happy new year, and safe and healthy as well. My objective for today is to tell you about this amazing state program. This program has been around for over 40 years, and I believe that we're servicing over 750,000 Californians. The wonderful thing about this is that we, as Tony mentioned, there's different programs out there that offer free telephones. Our program is state-based, and there's some other programs that are federally funded. Tony just spoke about one, which they're hosting the captioning. You can actually partake in both programs, and so if you're interested in both, please, don't hesitate to ask any questions. But hopefully, this presentation will give you some insight as far as what we offer, but also take into consideration that what we offer is something that you may be able to help a friend, be able to help a family member, a neighbor, something that's within your circle of friends. So I'm going to start my presentation here. Oh, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I have a slight correction, which our email changed at the beginning of the year. And so I know I just noticed while I was getting prepared that my old email is on my background. So I need to get that changed. But in front of you is my actual new email, which is rlainez@ccaf.us. So if you ever have any particular questions, I know that I'm going to go through a lot of slides today, but feel comfortable to reach out if you need to. And I'm always available for you. Our contact, or what we call our contact center. So we have a dedicated contact center, and the number is 800-806-1191. So if you ever have any questions, concerns, issues, please give us a call. Don't hesitate. This program only works when you tell us what type of help you need. So like I said, we're a state program, and so we're more than willing to go the extra mile for you. Okay, so let me start with my presentation. Okay, so let me tell you my story. And my story begins with my dad. My dad is in his 90s, and my dad is a very social person. So communications to him is very paramount, because my dad is the type of person that he never stops being a dad. He wants to check up on yourself, on your spouse, and the kids, and how work is going, and if there's any sports going on, he wants to know, all the ins and outs. So communication for my dad is very, very important. My dad suffered a fall, and that's why you see him in a wheelchair. When he fell, he broke his clavicle, he broke his collarbone. While we're going through physical therapy, it turns out that my dad's balance is not the same anymore. So he couldn't really use a walker, because that's, may not give him the support, or a cane. So the doctor said, we got to put him in a wheelchair. My dad's house is very narrow. And so getting to walk through the house, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. It's not impossible, but it's just the way that his house is designed. So this kind of put a problem, because my dad, he does not like to admit that he has a hearing problem. And the reason why my dad loved his avocado green phone, I wish I had a picture of it. So because the cord extends like that much, it's super loud. It's and it's on the wall, it's on the kitchen. And the phone was loud enough for him. So with him being in a wheelchair, we needed a cordless phone for him. We went everywhere. We bought phones through Amazon. We bought phones from Best Buy, Walmart, you name it. The phone was never loud enough. So a friend of ours told me about California phones, and like, no, they'll provide you a free phone. And I was like, okay, sure. I don't see how that's possible. I'll be honest with you. I was not a believer. And so one morning I was over at my dad's house, and we're just talking, and he turns on the news, and so we're watching the news, and all of a sudden this commercial comes up, and guess what? It's a commercial for California phones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to stop sharing, because I want to make sure that I am sharing sound. So I'm going to reshare. Okay. All right, I'm going to reshare. So hopefully the volume will come through on this commercial.
Now California Phones offers free devices and accessories for your mobile phone, like this device to increase volume on your cell phone. Get details on this state program, call 1-800-330-5100 or visit californiaphones.org. California Phones offers free specialized phones, like cordless phones, big button and volume enhanced phones. Get details on this state program. Call 1-800-330-5100 or visit californiaphones.org.
So this phone,
Now California.
So this commercial kind of solidified everything. It's like, wow, this is actually a real thing. Needless to say, later on that day, we ended up calling and we got my dad a phone that now gives him the empowerment to communicate. My dad has family even in Europe, and so he's able to communicate with them freely and without any issues. And my dad still refuses to wear a hearing aid, but that's okay because the phone is amplified. He could take it anywhere across his room, across his house, and without having any difficulty. So what I mentioned, this program, it is a state program. It is mandated by the California Public Utilities Commission. And so this started back in the 70s, and where the commission said, hey, we need to provide telephone equipment for people that are deaf or severely hard of hearing. And so this is how this program started. Now in the 80s, they began to include what we call relay or TTY. And in a few slides further on, I will be talking a little bit more about that. Now, a few laters after that, now it included not just the hearing, but also included equipment for people that have difficulties with memory, vision, speech, hearing, and also mobility. So in my dad, for example, in some of our devices, they kind of cross over. For example, my dad has a mobility issue, but also has somewhat of a hearing issue. So some of these phones help with multiple difficulties. How the program is funded is anyone that has a telephone line in California, be it a landline or be it a mobile phone or a fax line, whatever, the state, the Public Utilities Commission, there's a small charge called California Relay Service and Communications Device Fund. And so if you take a look at your bill, you'll see that it's a very small charge. So everyone pays for it. So what this means is that everyone kind of pays into this program that anybody can use. So that's how this program is actually funded. Now, the wonderful thing about this is that there is no income requirement. It is not age restriction. There's no need that you have to be on Medi-Cal or Medicare or anything like that. In fact, we don't even care about your immigration status as well. So it is a program that for the people that actually need help with communicating. Like I mentioned, our primary goal is for people to have difficulties with hearing, vision, mobility, speech, and or learning, or remembering. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of talk about some of the different devices that we have, but it's a very general way that I'm going to talk about them. And the reason is so you could understand what type of devices we provide for customers. And so I'm going to go over some difficulties and some of the features that our phones have. Now, the phones that you see here does not mean that this is the specific feature. We have over 60 phones and accessories, depending on what it is that you need, that you can get. Now, we provide what we call a set, okay? So when I mean a set, means that we provide you a phone and one accessory. And that accessory can be anything from, it could be an amplifier for your cell phone, but also a landline phone. It could be a landline phone, but also it could be maybe a louder ringer, or it could be a lamp flasher. So if you wanted to have your lamps flash when your phones ring, we have those available. So there's a slew of different accessories that we have available. And towards the end, I'm going to go over our website and I will guide you through how you can see all the different devices that we have available. So in speaking with phones that are for people who have difficulty hearing, we have phones that are amplified. And of course, what does that mean? it means that not only you can raise the volume so you could hear also. Some phones do have captions. Most of our phones also, actually all of our phones have tone control. So as we know, when we lose hearing, we sometimes lose tonality or clarity or pitch. So our phones have that adjustment, just depending on what your needs are. Some of our phones have hearing aid compatibility. Some of them have speakerphone. So if you wanted to speak hands-free, you have that ability. And they also, some of our phones have flashing lights when they ring as well. So as you can see, like the phone in front of you here, you see there's a light bar at the bottom. The buttons are really large. You have a speaker button there on there, and it's also amplified as well. So it's just, there's quite a bit of different features that our phones do provide. So moving on to next category is we have telephones for the people that have severe or no hearing at all. This is very old technology that still works, which is a TTY. So this is a teletypewriter. And teletypewriter, you connect with what we call CRS. So that's our California Relay Service, which we also manage for the state. And that is as simply as dialing 711. And we have different devices also that, like I mentioned, we have super loud ringers. We have phones that have a compatibility with T-coils or cochlear implants as well. There's quite a few devices that we have available. For the people who have low vision, as you can see, this phone has very large buttons, and it's still amplified as well. And so you can have that control as well. Some of our phones have talking keypads, and I really like that feature because it just tells you when you dial a phone number, it tells you what that number is, just so you could have a verifier that you dialed the right number as well. For people that have difficulty moving, we have cordless phones that are also amplified. They have speakerphone, they have speed dialing. We also have some specialized remote operated phones. That's for people that have no mobility whatsoever. This phone does not have a handset. It's just a very large speakerphone. And what you do is you use what we call a switch or a trigger. And with that switch, what you do is you activate the phone. And the really neat thing about that is that you can actually trigger the phone to dial for you. One of the good things about this is that while the phone is ringing, you could actually, with your voice, you could actually answer the phone without any need to use that trigger. But if you wanted to, you could use that as well. So those are some of the specialized equipment that we have as well. For people that have difficulty speaking, some of our phones have what we call outgoing speech amplification. So I know I talked about amplification, so you could hear, right? So if, the louder you need it, you could do that. But there's also people that have some speech impediments, and so their voice may not be as strong as what it used to. So some of our phones also offer amplification for your voice as well. We have some anti-stuttering devices. We have artificial larynxes as well. So for example, I have one of the devices here. It's probably kind of hard to see, but there it is. I'm actually going to give you a demo on what it is. And the reason why I'm giving you a demo is just to kind of show you how the program it works for us. This has nothing to do with a telephone whatsoever, but it does give a person that may not have a voice box or a larynx anymore the ability to communicate with the phone. So I'm just going to give it a shot here. Hopefully you can hear me. So hopefully you were able to hear that. And so what this is, it's an artificial voice generator. And this has, like I said, it has nothing to do with the phone, but this is some of the devices that we do have available. And of course, we have teletypewriter or TTY devices as well. So for people that have difficulties with memory, we have telephones like this one that you see here. And what does is it gives you the ability to put a picture on a speed dial. As we begin to lose memories, we forget names, we forget numbers, but usually we have that connection visually. So that's what this phone actually does. It allows you to kind of put a picture, program a number, and so it could be your doctor, it could be a family member, it could be emergency services, whatever it is that you're like, you could do that. And once again, these phones are actually amplified as well, like the one that you see here. We also have some devices that we can attach to a phone that will make your phone voice activated dialing. So those are really nice accessories that we have as well. All right, so I know I talked a lot about landline phones. So what about mobile phones? Well, we don't provide mobile phones, but what we do is we do provide Bluetooth accessories for mobile devices. So the wonderful thing about that is that if your primary use is a mobile phone, we have amplifiers. So the one I would say that we probably give out the most because people just love is this one here. This is called a Hero. The good thing about this Hero is that you connect this via Bluetooth to your mobile phone, as long as your phone has Bluetooth. Now you take the calls through here, and this is amplified. So, for example, when we're doing some Christmas shopping, my wife was she was kind of astounded, and she kind of wanted to give the lady like some help. It's like, hey, it sounds like you have a problem with you know, with the way that you're making your phone call. And what she was referring to is that she's a target, and the lady was having somewhat of a private conversation. It had to do with her medical, but she had it on speakerphone. But guess what? Everyone was hearing her conversation, right? And so, and she's like, I can't hear you. But she had it on speaker, but everyone around her could hear her. And my wife is like, Robert, I wish I had one of your cert phones because this lady really needed help. And so the way that we do that is you connect this device here, okay, wirelessly, and it's amplified. And so now you have your conversation just like you make the phone call through your phone, it connects to here. Now you could amplify that conversation and talk freely without having anyone around you hear your conversation. So I thought that was a really neat experience that my wife had, and that she was kind of, she was kind of able to assess the situation. Granted, the lady just kept on her conversation, so she didn't tell her about the program. So, but definitely, I told my wife that she's gonna have to carry my business cards with her now. So, but anyway, that's just to give you a little bit of a scenario of how this can be helpful and also keep your privacy. Okay, so we talked about TTY, we talked about California Relay Services. So we also manage that for the state. And the way that that works is a TTY user. So here is a TTY user on the far right. And that is a person that whether they have no hearing or no speech or both. So what they do is they connect through their teletype machine. And what they do is they connect with what we call a communications assistant. And that communications assistant will connect with a business or family member or whoever it is that they need to speak. So imagine that as a TTY user, you notice that you have a check engine light in your car, and you need to call the dealership and make an appointment. So what you do is you dial the communications assistant by dialing 711, and then you tell them, I need to call the dealership, and give them the number, and they will communicate on your behalf. Whether if you type your answer, then they will communicate. If you have hearing capability, then you can hear the voice directly. If you're not, then the communication specialist will type back that answer to your teletypewriter. So this is how this works. This is absolutely free. It's 711, or either, actually it says Spanish and English, but it's 711, that's the easiest, and it's available 24/7 for you. So this is also something that we manage for the state as well. Keeping with the same relay, we also offer what we call speech-to-speech. So speech-to-speech service, or STS, is also like relay, where you communicate with a communication specialist. And this is for people that have difficulties with their speech. So imagine somebody that has a speech difficulty and is trying to call the dealership, and they think it's a prank call, and they keep hanging up on this person. That could be very frustrating. And so with that, keeping that in mind, we have trained communication specialists to recognize tones and be able to complete that conversation with the customer. So they're there to assist. So that's another free program. Once again, 711, and it's available 24/7. Okay, so now you're thinking, okay, so what are the requirements for this program? Well, the requirements are very simple. You do have to live in California, hence the name, California Phones. You do have to have telephone service, whether it's landline or cell phone. Granted, if you have a cell phone, we actually just launched a new device that I'm excited about. It literally just got released. And what this does is, if you have a cell phone, it will connect. This device that we have is a Bluetooth device. It will connect to your cell phone, but now you can attach it to any landline phone. So it makes your cell phone into landline service. So we're really excited about that, especially for the people that may only have a cell phone. And of course, the third requirement is that you have one of the difficulties that we spoke about, whether it's hearing, vision, mobility, speech, or memory. So what you do is you actually fill out a cert form. So, and I'll tell you how to get a cert form from our website. But this is the cert form right here. This is the one in English. And sorry that the camera is acting up there. And so what you do is you fill out the first portion. So the first portion just has your information. Where do we send you the phone, and where do you, what your phone service is, and all that good stuff. So that is the first portion. The second portion, it is where you take it to an authorized certifying agent, and I'll show you what those agents are. So once you take it to an agent, they will fill out the second portion. You don't have to fill out anything on the second portion. The certifying agent will, and then they will put their credentials on there. They'll put their credentials and also their license number of the difficulties that you have. The more difficulties that they mark is helpful, because there might be a specific equipment that let's say that you have hard of hearing, but actually you also have mobility issues. Then you want to at least have the doctor mark both. And some doctors don't do this because they're like, well, I'm a speech pathologist, but as long as they and I don't know anything about your low vision, but as long as they mark their specialty, they could mark other things that are obvious as well. So, and what I'm trying to tell you also is that your difficulty does not need to be permanent. If it's temporary, you also qualify here. So we don't need you to jump through so many hoops. It's just that we want to make sure that you actually are going through a certifying agent, but also be able to participate as well, by not necessarily needing to be permanent difficulty. And once the form is completed, first and second section, then you have a choice of, you could come into one of our service centers, you could email it, you can fax it, and that way we can get you started with our program. So the list of certifying agents could be any medical doctor, it could be a PA, it could be a nurse practitioner, a rehab counselor, it could be an optometrist, it could be an audiologist, it could be a hearing aid dispenser, speech pathologist. So there's quite a few people that could sign off on this certification form. I did mention that you could bring it in person. So here in Orange County, we have our Orange location, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But we also have, offices all throughout the state. Some of them are temporary, so they're only open like maybe 1 or 2 days during the week. So we always suggest that you give us a call just to make sure that they are open. So what can you do at the service center? Well, let's say if you wanted to get new equipment, or you wanted to maybe, like, you might be interested in a particular type of phone, right? And you're like, but I don't know if this is going to work for me. Well, you could come to our offices and test the devices out to see what's best for you. Let's say that you're part of the program and you're having some issues with the device. You can bring it in, we'll troubleshoot it, and if we need to exchange it, we'll exchange it. If let's say that your equipment is broken for whatever reason, then we will exchange it as well. Another option that we do offer, and granted because of COVID is a little bit limited, but if you wanted someone to come to your home and set up your phone for you, we have that ability. So if you cannot make it into one of our service centers, or it's just too difficult for you, once you get certified, or if you already are a current user and you have difficulties with your phone, by all means, come and give us a call and say, I need a field advisor to come to my home. There's a lot of pre-screening that happens. So just know that. And because of COVID, it is a little bit delayed, but we do have that available for you as well. So we're trying to be flexible. We try to be there as much as possible to meet your needs. So this is our contact information. And what I'm going to tell you is that we have, well, as you can see, 800-806-1191 is our phone number, but we also have access to different languages. So if you feel like your neighbor speaks Italian and they feel more comfortable speaking with someone in Italian, we have access to interpreters that speak, I think the list is over 100 languages. So you have that available for you. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to show you, do a new share here. And I'm going to take you through our website. So our website is californiaphones.org. The first portion that I'm going to tell you about is how to apply. So if you hit apply right in here, is you can see also in section number 1 is you have different languages that we have available for the certification form. And so, and it kind of tells you the requirements there. But if you click here on English, you can pre-fill it out. And then once you fill that information out, of course, you got to make sure that you sign it, and then you print afterwards. And then this is the second section for the doctor to fill out. So once you print it, you can send it to your doctor for them to fill it out. Another thing that I wanted to show you is if you feel, for the people that communicate with ASL, we also have ASL Video Connect also. So if you look in the far right here, you have that capability. Now what I wanted to kind of show you is some of our specialized equipment. So if you go here to specialized equipment, you will see that we have all the different difficulties that we help, but also we have here, for example, mobile accessories. So you can see this is what I talked about. If you wanted to take a look at the different accessories for mobile phones. And then we have hearing, we have all the different phones available for people that have hearing difficulties, as you can see. And some of these, like I mentioned, I'll go into vision. Some of these do help for other difficulties as well. So there's that large button phone that I mentioned, but we also have here a cordless phone as well. This is that voice dialer that I told you about. So you're welcome to peruse through our website. If you have any questions, you could always contact us. It's very simple. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. And what I'm going to do right now is actually I'm going to play a video from Andy Squires. And Andy Squires has been with the program for a really long time. And the wonderful thing about that is that She made this video to tell you about our smartphone training. So in the beginning, we kind of talked about a little bit about the evolution of this program. And so with that being said, I wanted her to kind of give you more of a personalized message today. And so here you go. Let me play this for you.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to your group today. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, and I'm sorry I couldn't be here live. My name is Andy Squires, and I'm in my 20th year here at California Telephone Access Program. Our newest program here is called Smartphone Trainings. And it's been 5 years now since we launched our trainings. And HLAA has always done such a fantastic job at making sure its members know about all the services and equipment that CTEP has to offer. If you don't know what a smartphone training is, about 6 years ago, we noticed that a lot of people in California were using smartphones. But as I like to say, personally, I didn't feel as smart as my own smartphone. So we asked the Public Utilities Commission if we could put together a training. They said yes. So here we are. It is a 2-hour training, either on your iPhone or your Android. And what we cover a lot of the basics. We give names to the features so that we're all talking about the same thing. We show you how to navigate around your smartphone. We cover Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, texting, and a lot more. Right now, we are still doing the trainings over Zoom in a virtual format. We're kind of trying to tiptoe our way back to in-person trainings that we were doing in the beginning. But over Zoom, the advantage is you have a very small audience, so 4 to 5, maybe 6 people. And since we started doing these Zoom online trainings almost 2 years ago, we have added caption trainings, Chinese trainings, trainings in American Sign Language, and we are, as we speak, working on Spanish trainings. So if you have taken this training before, please let your family and friends know about this. I had a participant last week say that our smartphone trainings are the best kept secret in California. So please make sure this is not a secret. Share it with your family and friends. My email, my phone number are on your screen. If you would like me to snail mail or email you a flyer to share with any other groups or organizations you're a part of, please let me know. I'm sure Robert mentioned our email addresses are changing. So I have listed my email address right there on the screen. And if you've taken the training from us before, please let us know what topics you might want to see covered in an advanced training. We were working on that prior to the shutdown, and I imagine we'll go back to working on that again soon. So I really look forward to seeing you all and hope everyone is well. And I will turn it back over to Robert.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So with that being said, this concludes my presentation. I hope that you found it informative. And if there's any questions, I'm willing to take any questions. Apologize for that.
This is a good time to use the raise hand feature that is located in the reactions button on at the bottom of the screen. If you're not seeing any of your controls, kind of tap on the screen with your mouse. So, 'cause sometimes it disappears when you're not using it. So, because I can't see everybody, I can only see 4 or 5 people at a time. So if you're raising your hand physically, I'm kind of missing that. Okay. So, Rihanna, Rena, yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Hold on, I just need to start video. Hold on, please. I need to start my video. Yeah. Hi. Yes, I have question. Does you provide all these services only in California or out of state too? I'm currently living in Nevada. I moved to Nevada. Just I was wondering if you provide this service out of state.
So yes, so every state has a different program. So if you go to the website tedpa.org, you can find which states participate and how they participate. Every state is very different, and so I'm just mostly versed in California. Some states provide vouchers, some states really don't provide other things. It's just more limited. So you would have to find out by going to the tedpa.org website.
TED, then
TED.
PA.
Tom, Edward, David, Paul, Angel.
Okay, then the rest or that or org or what?
.org, correct.
That org. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, we had somebody else with their hand up, but all of a sudden it seems to have disappeared. I have a question to ask you, Robert. Do you have a schedule of the next smartphone trainings by any chance?
Well, because I do not currently, and the reason is because there's different types of trainings, some with captions and some without, but I can get that to you. I'll communicate with Andy, and then I'll send you an email, Tony, and with that schedule, which ones are captions and which ones are not.
Okay. All right. So we have Judy Mandel. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You already have. Okay, go.
Because I have a caption call, am I eligible for applying for a California phone? How does that work?
So, yeah, it's as long as as long as you qualify for the requirements. You live in California, you have a telephone line, and you have one of the difficulties, and you get all you have to do is fill out one of our forms, and it's like I said, you can participate in both programs, and there's different programs. Some people. One of the times that I went to go do a home visit, this lady had one federally program in her bedroom, but she preferred our amplified phone in the kitchen. She goes, I cook all day long for my family, so I'd rather use this. He goes, but her preference was to use my primary phone in the kitchen, and then her caption phone in the bedroom at night. So yeah, definitely you can participate. One is federal and we're state. So by all means.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Great question.
So I have a caption call phone, but I depend on California phones to provide me with this neck loop for telecoil use with my smartphone. And there's a whole lot of other accessories that you can use that you might have, that you do have, with the caption call phone. So I think it would be really interesting if you're not getting everything that you need out of your caption call phone, call California phones and see how they could supplement or provide an accessory either for your landline phone or for your smartphone. I think that either way they're available to sit down. If you can go into the showroom, it's fantastic that way because you can actually see the phones. I don't know if you can actually try them. Do you? Are you able?
No,
You
yeah,
are.
yeah, and you know,
Okay.
and what, we
That's
have
great.
all the different devices. We sanitize them. We have this protocol about sanitizing every time that somebody comes in and comes out. So yeah, feel safe that we we do that.
That's great. Well, I know that Andy has always been responsive when I've called her. I've been down to the showroom many times when they were on Townsend, and now they're on a uh, different street. What's it called? Hmm. Anyway, I've been there too. The new place, the new
Sure.
location.
It's
So
really weird because it turns into, but it's Parker Avenue now. So
they're
yeah.
really close. Yeah, they're really close.
And
So
also just, and if this is too difficult for you to come in, we have that ability that, someone can come to your home as well. So
okay, can you provide the smartphone email address because somebody said it was like it was too low on the screen
sure,
and they didn't get the email address.
sure. Let me give you, it is smart.
Can you put it in the chat as
Sure,
well as speaking it? You know.
sure. It is smartphone training at ccaf.us. Smartphone training at ccaf.us. I will also give you the phone number, and you can leave a message, tell us if you're interested, and also if you wanted captions, please make mention of that. And the phone number is 866-271-1540.
And that number is for the
Smartphone training.
phone training. Okay.
Yes.
You want to put that in the chat too?
Yes.
And then for those people who you can read the chat and either write it down or you can save the chat and 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 you can always contact me, Tony at HLAAMV.org. And I'm happy and I try to be very responsive to everybody who writes.
Right. And it's with the new year, we're continuing to evolve ourselves. So if there's any group that you may participate in, that they want to have this presentation, we're willing to do that. Our job is to get the word out because this is a great program. It really, really is, and it doesn't cost you anything. We just, I tell people I'm in the empowering business, and I just want to be able to empower people to feel like they communicate and overcome whatever hearing difficulties or low vision, whatever it is. And so that's what we do, and yeah, we're here at your service.
So if somebody already has a phone with California phones, and can they replace it with something else?
So after 5 years, they can request for a replacement. Now, if the device is faulty, or by all means, you could give us a call, and we'll try to troubleshoot it. And if it's not fixable, then we will definitely replace it. But yeah, if you've been with us for over 5 years, we will take that into consideration. Also, the other thing is if your needs change. So let's say that when you started, you were just hard of hearing, but now you have a mobility issue. So as long as a doctor can sign off on that mobility issue, yeah, by all means, we want to encourage you to make sure that you have the right device that works for you.
Excellent. Okay. Rena, go ahead.
Yes, yes, I have one more question. Yeah, I have this caption call phone, but sometimes when I speak on the phone, it gets staticky and just echo something. I don't know what is it, just fault of phone, or I have no idea. Sometimes the other side, on the other side, they can hear me. They just say that it's staticky and it's some echo in there. So is it phone or something else for just the defect?
I recommend if it's an issue that you're having with caption call phone, I recommend that you contact caption call phone. And I'll give you their number again. It's 877
877, okay,
557
557
2227.
2227.
I'll
Oh,
put that in the
okay.
chat box too.
Oh, so, okay, so I call and I just ask them about, tell them about my problem, right? Okay, thank you.
557 2227. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You could also write to them, customer support at captioncall.com.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. Any other questions here? Howard, it looks like you almost have a question. No? Okay. All right. Well, Robert, thank you so much. I always enjoy having California phones. It's just great that there's so many products, so many services, and so many. You cover so many disabilities, not just hearing loss, not some mobility, speech. Um, I think you have memory loss because of the picture phones. I remember having one of those at one point. Um, and so, if you're with us today and you don't have a need, but you know somebody that does have a need, you definitely want to get in touch with Robert. There's his it's on the screen, his telephone number, his email address, and put them in touch with him, and he can make sure that you understand the application process, to get a sign off on your disability, and go to the showroom if that's a possibility, or talk to them on the phone. Um, there's many different ways to get connected. So, all right.
Well, thank you so very much. It's always a pleasure, um, having to present to your group, and I always appreciate your continued support, Tony. I commend you for the hard work that you do. You're consistent and you're passionate about your people. So thank you for allowing me to present, and the happiest of New Year's to every single one of you.
Okay, Alan, you have a question.
Not a question. There were a couple people that just joined the meeting, so you may want to remind them that it is recorded and they would be able to view it later.
Yes. Hi, Winnie and Dick Stewart. And I'm sorry that you sort of come at the end. There is this meeting is being recorded, and it's going to take me a day or two to get the recording up on YouTube, but I can email you, Dick, and Winnie, a link that'll be good for a day or two, that you can see the Zoom meeting right away. And it even has captions. So,
Thank you.
yeah. All right. Robert, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
And for everybody else, the people that are left, if you would like to just hang around for a couple of minutes and we'll talk about the future of HLAA
All right, we'll
MV.
see you.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Bye. Okay, so I just thought I would mention, people do ask me, are we ever going to meet in person again? And maybe, probably. The, right now, I can't get a room that would accommodate with a loop and a hearing loop and all that. Actually, I kind of want to be in Clubhouse 7 in the future, and the reason for that is that I won't have to deal with any gate issues. Many of our people, most of our people are here in Laguna Woods, but we do have others that live outside of Laguna Woods, and it'd be so much easier for them, and I don't have to call them into the gate and do all that, and they could just come. The parking is really good. They have a loop in Clubhouse 7, and that's sort of what I'm aiming for. And as soon as Clubhouse 7 opens for meetings, I will get a date. I get a reservation. However, it may not be Tuesdays at 11 o'clock. It may be another date and time. I'm just going to have to, I'm kind of competing with other people. So I'll do the best I can, date and time wise. I do want, for those who are living here in Laguna Woods, I do want to say that the theater and the Performing Arts Theater in Clubhouse 3 has been looped. And I'm not even sure if there's any activity going on in Clubhouse 3 or any of the performing arts. They were pretty insistent that it be installed before Christmas. So it's been installed, and as soon as they start open up as soon as they open up for performances, you will be able to go into that theater, and you don't have to borrow any equipment. You just need to use the telecoil in your hearing aids to hear directly. And I just think that's, I will go to the Performing Arts Theater more often now that I know that that's available. So, any questions about the future, or any comments you want to make, any requests you want to make? Please let me know. All right. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. And I want to tell you a little bit about our next meeting. So we're going to have Dr. Joni Doherty. She's an MD. She has a PhD in otology and neurootology. She's with the USC Caruso Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery in Los Angeles. And she is going to be talking to us about ototoxic drugs. Ototoxic meaning hearing loss because you've taken a drug. And there are many over-the-counter preparations, including aspirin, that can cause hearing loss. So it would be good for you to be aware of the dangers, the different prescription drugs, the different over-the-counter drugs that could impair your hearing further. Of course, sometimes it's unavoidable if you are undergoing some kind of cancer therapy, and so you have to weigh everything. But she is an expert, and she's going to be bringing the program to us next month, and that's going to be, let's see, February the 8th. February the 8th. And I hope you'll come back and join us then. I'll be sending out an email with a notice. If you go to the website, HLAAMV.org, and click on the event, you can register now, or you can wait for the email to register. And hope to see you back then. Okay. I think that's it. Any comments? Nope.
Yeah, Tony,
Yes, Wendy?
I was wondering, you got into that Amplify program. How did you like that?
I signed up for that. I have to be honest with you. I have not participated.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because I'm thinking of doing it.
I'm in a better position right now to actually take the time and remember to do that. I'm in the process. I've been taking care of my mother and going to San Diego, and so it's just my schedule has been very crazy, and I'm not really focused on myself very much lately. But I think the program is wonderful. I did help somebody else with the program, so I was on the program with them, and found it to be very interesting. And I think it's something that if you would stay with the program, complete the program, you will see progress. So in the beginning of the program, you'll kind of see where you're at and where your scores are with the different entertaining games and programs. And then when you finish the program, you'll see your scores and you'll be able to compare. Is there anybody that's with us right now that has taken the Amplified course and would like to make a comment?
Yes, I have, if I may, attorney.
Sure. Oh, I would love
And
to.
I've been pretty diligent about it and tried to really participate as much as I could. And there's a lot of good material there. There's a lot of instruction and tips and things besides the auditory brain training, as they call it. So the exercises are good to do, but it's also very useful to every day that one participates. It's very useful to be able to look at all the tips and guides that they give for improving one's ability to use hearing aids or whatever assistance one does with the hearing. And the actual brain training exercises certainly help to improve one's ability to hear. And so I'm finding it pretty useful, and I'm glad I signed up for it.
Thank you for sharing that.
Have you completed the program, or are you still working it? Elkin, are you still using are you still in the program? Have you completed?
Yes, I am, because it's a 12-week program, and I think I'm now in week 11. So not much further to go to get to the end of it. But signing up through Anne and Amazing Hearing means the way I did it was that I can continue in the program for as long as I want to. It's kind of a permanent thing. So I'm not sure whether that means I go through the exercises again, or whether I just have the ability to play games as often as I like.
So can you can you personally testify to how improvement in your own speech understanding, hearing and understanding?
Yes, I feel that outside the effort, outside when I'm actually doing the program, in talking to family and some friends at home, and I feel that there is an improvement because the exercises help me to distinguish between words that sound very similar, like chore and saw and things like that. So that kind of exercise is helping me a lot.
Excellent. That's great. So, just so you know, that if you could sign up for this program with Amazing Hearing, that's Anne Mundell Noel. She right now is in Uganda with her husband, and they have a ministry that they help provide funds for water wells to the villages in Uganda that don't have water. So she's there right now. Laura Hunt was on, but it looks like she's gone right now. She's left. But you can contact Amazing Hearing, and let's see, I probably should give you that information. Okay, so Amazing Hearing is located in the same shopping center as Trader Joe's in Laguna Hills. And you can contact Shirley at amazinghearing.net.
Is it in-person meeting or Zoom meeting? Is it Zoom or in person?
Oh, the Amplify, the
Yes.
program. Oh, it's on your smartphone.
Oh, on
It's
smart.
on a computer.
Oh, yeah. So you can do it just digitally, not in person, right? Yeah.
If I could just say, it's on a smartphone or a desktop or in any of the devices that one could use.
Right. So the telephone number for Amazing Hearing, and Alan, maybe if you could put this in the chat, 949 667 9818. Oh, Alan is not here. He left. Okay, so here I'm talking to Alan. He's not here. Okay, Amazing Hearing, and it's 949 667 9818. And they're located in Laguna Woods. They're in the Oakbrook Village Shopping Center. What happened to my chat box?
They're right opposite the hearing gallery. I mean, the hair gallery. Near Marshall's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Marshall's, yeah, and then there's Trader Joe's. So it's that shopping center right there.
And I found out the program's called Amplify instead of Amplify. It's Amplify.
Amplify, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So
I just got new hearing aids from Amazing Hearing, and I'm going to get into that in about 3 weeks. She said to get used to the hearing aids first.
yes.
Yeah.
You do need to. I'm so glad that you got them there, because it's the one place I know where they do a full battery of diagnostic tests.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised at all the, Every other test I've had has just been the dot, or ding dings, that's all. But this was word clarification with noise background.
Yes. Yes, Winnie. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they do a whole battery of tests, and they do speech and noise tests, the results of which helps the professional to get the right hearing aid for you based on your loss.
Yeah.
And once you get the hearing aids, they do a real ear test. And that is critical to the fine tuning at the end, because the audiologist can't hear what you're hearing, but using the real ear, they can make sure that it's not too loud, because a lot of people would, if they got it a little bit too loud, they would think, well, maybe it's supposed to be like that, and not necessarily. So anyway, there's a variety of testing that they do. All of it, the results of all of that will help to uh, fit you with the right hearing aid and program the right way. So
Yeah, and I'm going to have the T-coil ability. Yeah,
Yay!
and it's rechargeable. I don't have to pay for batteries every. I am so excited.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay. So thank you. There's just a couple of you left. I want to thank you very much. Thank you, Joy Gale, Joe, for captioning our program today. You did a great job. And Nancy, good to see you. Elkin, Winnie,
Thank you.
thank you all. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, and bye.